true. Indonesians are not lazy. We're just not accustomed to work hard. It's different. Let me explain. Indonesians are not accustomed to work hard. It's in our DNA. It's generational. It's who we are. Because Indonesia is a tropical country. So since the days of hunters and gatherers, we don't have to work hard. We don't have deadlines like the winter to hunt and gather food. There's always tomorrow. There's always the next day. That's why one of the most famous saying in Indonesia is, kalau bisa besok, kenapa harus hari ini? Which means, if you can do it tomorrow, why do it today? Good morning. Or I should say, good morgen. Did I get that right? Yeah, thank you very much. Tuseltak, yeah? Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a comedian, so I'm the least serious part of this event. We can relax, everybody. Just kick back. I'm gonna bring you some smiles. My name is Pandji. I am from Indonesia. Thank you. One person in the back. Make some noise if you know where Indonesia is. If you can point Indonesia on the map. Yes, thank you. Wow. Thank you so much. I am from Indonesia, but I moved to New York City 4 years ago, and I'm based in New York now. And a lot of people in New York City, they know nothing about Indonesia. Then again, they are Americans, so we understand why. And so every time I do stand up in New York City, I have to explain to them about Indonesia using context that they understand. Do you know what I mean? Like I have to explain it through things that they know, they understand. And so this is how I introduce Indonesia to most Americans when I do stand up in New York City. I tell them that I'm from Indonesia. It's a country in Southeast Asia. It's so peaceful. Barack Obama actually spent his childhood there. This is true, 8 to 10 years old. He lived in Jakarta. It's so beautiful. Donald Trump goes there to play golf. And it's so far away, Joe Biden probably won't survive the trip. I mean, he's no longer young, ladies and gentlemen. We are worried about his health, and it's a very long flight. It's a 26-hour flight. And so that's how I tell about Indonesia to New Yorkers. Now, I'm going to open with a very good news, and I'm very proud of. I have a comedy special out on Netflix worldwide. Thank you. A lot of comedians in the world, that's what we dream for. We want to have a comedy special out on Netflix. And you can actually open up your Netflix, you can watch it. It's in my language, it's in Indonesian language, but there's an English subtitle. But then again, it's also 2 hours. So if you want to watch the show, read the subtitle, watch the show, read the subtitles, and do it for 2 hours. By the end of it, I'm pretty sure you're gonna have crossed-eyed and you'll be like, okay, this is too much. This is too much, this is getting crazy. Now, it's supposed to be a positive thing. It's supposed to be a good thing to have a Netflix special out. However, exactly a week after the special was released on Netflix, over 1,000 Muslims poured the streets of Jakarta protesting my jokes, protesting my bits, saying that it was a blasphemy, saying that I was condescending Islam, and how I'm a very bad Muslim. You know, when I found out about the news, I was in New York. I was actually at a bar having a beer, and I remember thinking, they have a point there, yeah. I was having a Modelo, and I remember, yeah, they have a good point there. But the thing is, I wasn't taking out jabs to Islam. I wasn't condescending Islam. There were no jokes that was a blasphemy in any form. Nothing. So I did my own investigation, and I got help by some journalists. Eventually, I found out that the protest was politically driven because on my comedy special, I criticized the government, criticized the president of Indonesia, the vice president of Indonesia, because that's what you do as a comedian. You bring light, serious issues. You tell people about the truth, and you deliver it in a form that they love, which is comedy. That's what you do. And I make fun about the president, make fun about the vice president. I remember I have this one bit where I said that the vice president looks sleepy all the time. And every supporter of the vice president went crazy. They attacked me, like literally. It's so weird, because I live in New York. And people in the US, they give nicknames to Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe, and everybody's okay with it. In Indonesia, I tell the vice president looks sleepy all the time. Everybody looks at me like I'm at a Didi party or something. Just kind of weird. But they were very upset with me. One of his supporters was like, Pandji, you're so mean. Pandji, you're so mean. He's not sleepy. He has a condition called blepharoptosis. It's a medical condition where he has droopy eyes all the time. I'm like, that sounds meaner than me. I assume he was sleepy. You accused him of facial disfigurement. I assume he was working. What's wrong with Vice President being sleepy? He's the Vice President. He better be sleepy. You better be tired and sleepy working, leading 300 million people, right? I want President and Vice President that takes Adderall all the time. Come on. But they were very upset. And they were protesting, and they were attacking my family. My kids got bullied. And at this point, a lot of people in Indonesia say how brave I am. They say, you're very brave, Pandji, to keep talking about the government, to keep criticizing the president and the vice president, knowing the kind of government that we have. But being brave is when you want to do something, you think about it, you felt fear, you overcame it. That's being brave. I wasn't even thinking. I felt nothing at all. I don't think I'm brave. I think I'm stupid. I think that's what I am. I think I'm just stupid. I wasn't thinking about consequences. People are like, what about the consequence? I'm like, what consequence? I'm just trying to tell jokes here. If you want to have an idea of what the government is like in Indonesia, a lot of Indonesians look at President Prabowo the way a lot of Americans look at Donald Trump. That's the situation. And funny enough, they're actually friends. They're buddies. You know how birds of a feather flocks together? But President Trump and President Prabowo are actually buddies. They were in this organization. I don't know if you heard about it. It's called Board of Peace, which eventually the Indonesian president realized that the way you spelled Board of Peace is B-O-R-E-D. Thank you for the applause break over there. You love the joke more than everybody else here. Apparently everybody on Board of Peace is bored of peace, igniting war all the time. And President Trump actually has a nickname for President Prabowo. It's Tough Cookie. He was on this press conference and President Prabowo was on his left and Donald Trump was like, look at the Indonesian president. Look at him, he's so big. He's so strong. I don't want to mess with him. He's such a big person. Look at him. He's a tough cookie. And if it sounds condescending, it's because it is. And it's crazy. Indonesia is crazy. I don't know if you know this, but $1 is almost 18,000 Indonesian rupiah. That is crazy. $1 is almost 18,000 Indonesian rupiah. If you have $100, you're a millionaire in Jakarta, Indonesia. And if you have $1,000, you can buy the government, I'm pretty sure. I think it's already happening right now. But that's what I do as a comedian. I go places, and it's such an honor to be here in Oslo. Make some noise for yourself. Thank you very much. That's what I do. I go places to introduce about Indonesia. I tell people how Indonesia is, how Indonesian people are. Can I do a little bit of an impression for you guys? Can I? Yeah? All right. Here's my impression of an Indonesian working hard. An Indonesian working hard. Here we go. Thank you very much. Here's my impression of an Indonesian taking a break. It's basically the same thing. But I'm here to tell you about, so there's a stereotype about Indonesian people that I'm trying to put straight. The stereotype about Indonesian people is that Indonesians are lazy. This is not true, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here to address the issue. It's not true. Indonesians are not lazy. We're just not accustomed to work hard. It's different. Let me explain. Indonesians are not accustomed to work hard. It's in our DNA. It's generational. It's who we are. Because Indonesia is a tropical country. So since the days of hunters and gatherers, we don't have to work hard. We don't have deadlines like the winter to hunt and gather food. There's always tomorrow. There's always the next day. That's why one of the most famous saying in Indonesia is, kalau bisa besok, kenapa harus hari ini? Which means, if you can do it tomorrow, why do it today? And I know what some of you are thinking. You're thinking, I might be Indonesian myself. Thank you very much, everybody. You've been great. My name is Pandji. Tusen tak, everybody. Thank you.